Honey.
Hey.
Oh no!
You want to squeeze it in.
It's like, oh, that one's doing it, so I should too. No!
UV resin is so strong. Why'd it have to squirt out like that?
Get it.
Maybe the cup can just say it for me now. Have you ever had a fish eat your fish that you're trying to catch? I don't think it's actually ever happened to me. I've seen it happen to someone else. This is going to be a pike eating a crankbait lure. Part of it's a swim bait, part of it's a crankbait. If we can get this thing to work, if some kind of consistent action can be achieved from this, that's impressive. There's a lip on the front, there's 2 joints. Oh, I will be using a flappy doobie swim bait tail that I have extras of. I'm gonna throw that on the back. Nothing else, let's get started. You hear that air conditioner? That's right. It is hot outside. Dang it, I'm back to the weather, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm treating this like it's one lure, but it is actually 2 separate functioning lures. It will be a crankbait that works by itself and a swim bait that would work by itself. Although that ridiculous open mouth, maybe, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't work so well by itself, but it's 2 separate lures. 9:30. 3. That's when we're starting. One day. This is going to be, I haven't admitted it yet, but this is going to be a pretty involved one day. We're starting at a good time. This is probably going to take forever because I'm not going to leave this shop until this actually has a good action, and I'm not confident. Maybe I'll get it first try and it won't be such an issue like I'm thinking right now. We have to get there first, so let's work instead of try to predict how difficult this will be.
Oh no!
Right there. Well, just dropped my saw, caught it by the blade, but didn't cut myself. Not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the fin slot by hand back here at this point. My calipers ran out of battery, but you don't need to see the number to make good marks. I should probably have one of the tail fins for reference while doing this, you know? So I know how thick the slot needs to be. I just love guessing. I'm a chronic guesser to a fault. I just want to be able to guess and be right, and that's that. It's not a positive trait. So I guessed, let's see if I'm right. Oh, look at that, I was right. With a soft plastic flappy tail like this, you want to squeeze it in. You want it to have some squeeze, and that's going to have the perfect amount of squeeze right there. Alright, I still need to squeeze it in there. I widened it up a little bit, but it still needs to be squeezed in, and that'll fit good. Got my finger ready. Catch that blade in case it slips. Gotta always think ahead, you know. Little pike head right there. Poked a little hole in the center of the eye. That way I can transfer it to both sides. 3/8 inch eye on this bait. That was drilling backwards actually. It just scrapes at it and it's a lot more controllable to go a nice shallow depth like that. Backwards Forstner bits. Wow, I just let off quite the secret right there. If you want more secrets like that, the Fish with Your Masterpiece lure making course has been out for a while now, and people are saying stuff. And thank goodness, it's good stuff. Steve says the content's first rate. The amount of information is a deal for what is paid. I worked like all last year on making this course. Ton of stuff packed into it. It's like incredible to hear positive feedback. Feels good. William says, I'm colorblind and base coats and stencils are pretty straightforward, but matching that base coat with a specific gill color was difficult, and he's learned lots of tricks on painting alone, and he's grateful for that. The official bait makers community is encouraging, supportive, and active. It can be a good resource. Adam says, the value you get from a one-time lifetime fee is well worth all the skills and knowledge gained. It's truly like a college class. We have graduated high school, fellas. It's like a college class. Since taking the Fish with Your Masterpiece course, my lure making skills have taken a visually remarkable step forward. The feedback on all my lures across social media platforms have been extremely positive. He enjoys the step-by-step videos that go along with the downloadable lure templates. Being able to rewind and watch certain steps and skills can be really invaluable along the way in the course. You can pause it, you can try stuff out, you can skip forward if you want to, if you already are confident with certain stuff. The enjoyment I get from the course is well worth the cost alone. We're getting some solid feedback. Oh my goodness. This is after this video. You're not supposed to see that up there. There we go. First link in the description below. Go check it out and go secure your lifetime access to the Fish with Your Masterpiece lure making heaven over there. Back to the video. You know, the dumber the life form, the more likely it is to see one of its own kind doing something, like chasing little lure, and bro's gonna wanna jump in, you know, and do the same. Groupthink. Fish are dumb. I'm thinking positive thoughts. This is probably gonna work. They're not gonna be able to help themselves. These fish are gonna have FOMO. That's a stubby little pike, man. I love the shape of pikes. Just had to throw that in there. I love the shape of pikes. My light just died. All right, I sanded things smooth and now we're tracing out some gills for this. We got the little crankbait smooth too. Still need to cut out a lip. I wasn't thinking that this is gonna take like twice as long as normal, but that's kind of what it's turning out to be. 2 baits, one's pretty involved. Big gnarly ball burr bit. I'm not trying to do detail carvings of this fish's intestines. I'm just trying to make that mouth a little concave, you know? No detail in there, just a little bit of concaveness makes that look a lot more natural. Pretty clean. Poke a couple holes where those dots are. Line tie is gonna come up through the lip. I don't know, I just feel like that will be getting more leverage on this whole thing if I have one of those through the lip line ties. I can always put a line tie on the nose too, along with off the lip to see which one works better. It's gonna be a lot of lip. You have to look down the bait that way. Super even, super straight. It's sticking out evenly on both sides. There we go. I still need to carve all the details on this thing and this thing. Let's move this along. Just getting some spots established where teeth will go. I'm gonna use the tips of toothpicks, and these are bamboo. Pretty durable. This is gonna be a tooth by tooth thing, obviously. That looks horrible. It's like flat at the end. So I'm gonna have to even get some sandpaper, focus on the tip up there, get it nice and tapered to a point. I guess if toothpicks were this sharp, you'd probably hurt yourself. We're not done yet. Grab the super glue, the extra thin super glue. Solidify the tip, like such as. So that's hard and sharp. Now we're ready. No! It just popped off into the ether. Oh, it's right there. Is that it? Oh no, that's the old one. Dude, let me get what we had going again. Okay, I'm gonna try to just clip them off now. I don't need to be losing every other tooth I make. That's not too shabby. It's stuck to, it's super glued to my thumb at the moment, but that's the shape and look. That looks pretty good. It's even the right color. I don't want a perfect white tooth. Even this needs adjusting. A little too thick in the back. That looks better. Each tooth in this mouth is gonna need that type of individual dedication. It needs to be shorter, doesn't it? That was just kind of ridiculously too long. That's perfect. That's the kind of tooth I'm looking for. I want a whole row of that. Where this attaches to the back of this will be secured about right in there, but it's gonna be a wire that comes out of the mouth quite a ways. A very rigid wire looped off at the end, comes out of the mouth about that far. So I'm not disturbing these beautiful teeth that I spent so much time on. And it will look like this little crankbait is about to meet a devastating demise. Dude, what's that say, 12:31? Yeah, we need to get moving. See you when some progress is made. That's pretty good. Oh, lead pot. Get it hot. Because we're drilling lead holes. All right, lead's heating up, but we can cut this bait in half. I feel like I'm starting to get shaky from lack of sustenance. But I also feel like I don't have enough time to eat. Just a typical one day. I'm gonna have to stick some hardware in some lead holes. That way I can just unscrew and there will be holes through the lead where the holes need to be. Pull that out real quick and there'll be a hole left. I have to do the same for right here because that's exactly where I want the hook coming off the belly of this thing to be, right through the lead. Lead's hot. I get my drill ready to twist that screw eye out real quick. Perfect. Next. Overfilled. Oh boy. Smaller baits are harder. I'm gonna have to clean that up. It like solidified around the screw eye even. Just chopping lead in the bait shop. Wow, that wants to stay upright. This might sink, but that can be good. I know this is gonna wanna float. I didn't put nearly enough lead in this to where it wants to sink, but this bait kinda in the front with a lot of weight in it wanting to sink, and then it'll look like this is coming in from the top trying to eat it, you know, following it. It's gonna look good. One day. I should be doing this with a brush. I almost did that old-fashioned style and ruined it. I'm gonna get the brush out. Never super glue bath the old-fashioned style. I'm doing this first before installing the lip because super glue can destroy Lexan polycarbonate. I don't know exactly why, but it makes it crack. And there's not just this little bait depending on the integrity of that Lexan polycarbonate lip in the front. There's a chunky pike swim bait depending on it as well. Wood's good and sealed. UV resin and glass microspheres. Look at that, what the heck? That almost disturbed me. Why did it have to squirt out like that? I'm gonna let that cook. Okay. I filled the lip slot on the little one full of UV resin. Now I'm squirting the hole that the wire is going in with super glue. It's not gonna get on the Lexan polycarbonate. It's its own independent little hole. Then I'm gonna install the lip, which is scuffed up by the way, important to note. It's gonna be a tight fit because the super glue bath really hardened everything. Are we straight? We're super straight. That UV light travels through the Lexan polycarbonate all the way to the back of that lip slot. See how if I hit it on this side, it lights up on the edge? It does that all the way to the back of the hook slot. UV resin is so strong. So strong. UV resin is so strong. We got that propped up nicely. It's just getting blasted. It's time to clean this up. And then this gets a super glue bath and we're super almost ready to paint. All right, I'm just gonna install hardware and start painting. This has taken a long time. It's been a bit of a challenge. We're ready to paint. Okay, I finally got lunch and it's 2 o'clock. I almost died, fellas. I can't handle not eating. Starting with Wyatt. For our pike around here, when they get big, they look like that. They got browns and tans and a little bit of green. Mostly browns and tans though, so we're gonna start with Decay. It's a very poopy brown. Oh, whoops. I just put the wrong color in the brush. It was gonna be the next color, Vile Green. I needed Decay. I just didn't want to give that green white to sit on because it's so much more green. I put about the same amount on this napkin as I did the bait, and it doesn't look nearly as green, but it's there. Next color is called drab green. It should probably be called boogie green because it's like a fantastic booger color. This is going to go on lightly. That's a pretty good base color for a pike right there. White spots are gonna go over that, and I got a good stencil for that. I might get into some pinks and overly detailed things before I do that. A little bit of orange magma. Can you tell the difference? It's towards the belly. It's gonna make the white show up better towards the bottom a bit, if we ever get to that point. I think the gills like a little bit of this color too. Yeah, they liked that. Okay. Well, it's a bit of a toss-up because neither of them are perfect, but I can go with very random dots. There's no pattern to that, or bigger dots, which I don't think will look as good, but there's pattern to them a little bit. They line up. Pike spots line up. Oh, this is tough. What do baby pike have? They have stripes. They're more striped. Oh, boy. We're gonna use the no pattern spots. I hope that looks good. I'm not very confident about that. Oh, that looks fine. We're good. That's gonna end up looking pretty pikey. I just wanted something in the ballpark, you know, that's probably outfield, not quite infield. All right, put some infectious pink around the mouth, a little bit down the gills and stuff. This thing needs scales, and then I'm probably gonna stop myself from doing anything more because it's unnecessary. That looks great. Well, maybe some pearl white on those gill plates down there. But after that, we need to move on to this bait. That might be bluegill or perch or shad, I don't know. Anyway, that's a little bit of mosquito netting. This is a little bit of fairy dust. We're gonna keep it super light. I don't need to do the clamps and wrap it around the whole thing. I'm allowed to do this. Kept it light. You can only see it in the correct lighting. That's what I want. Because I want to be able to see all those spots still. Added a bit of pearlness. I'm gonna hit these gills down here. And that's that. Nice shiny pike. That looks pretty real, doesn't it? It's because of that base coat color. It's a Midwestern pike right there. Okay, let's pick an eye out for this thing real quick. Okay, we're doing that one. Instantly when I saw that one, I knew we're doing that one. It's got orange in it, so. Dude, that's gonna look unbelievably good. Is this an actual pike eye, but with a lot of orange in it? It just happens to be exactly what I need. Whoa, tilted up a smidget because the mouth's open. Dude, just dude. Dead Meat Customs. They have never failed me. So, let's go about the tedious process of adding teeth to this. Whenever I'm running for a drill, things are urgent. I'm just not saying anything and running for a drill. Alright, I got a bunch of sharpened toothpicks right here. I'm breaking the teeth off. Well, that one just disappeared. I need to put the smallest ones closest to the center and bigger on the way out. That's my goal. This is pretty much a Goliath tiger pike right now. Teeth are a bit oversized, but who cares? Actually, that's cooler. Just making sure these holes are the right size. That's the first 4 on top. I'll see you in like 12 teeth later, or 10, or whatever it is. That thoroughly triggered my microphobia, but this is a pretty good end product. That is a vicious looking pike mouth. This crankbait should be scared. Okay, don't need that anymore because that's what I painted the little crankbait. It's kind of a bluegill. I don't have a stencil small enough to put an ear on there, so I'm not even gonna. Nice bright colors. It'll bring attention to the front of the bait because it's quite a bit brighter than the pike. I guess it's kind of fire tigery. Nice and bright. That's all I wanted. Clear coat. Crankbait dude's looking fantastic. No flaws in the clear coat. That's like a one day in itself right there. It's almost, I think it's past 4 o'clock right now. I'm gonna have like 4 hours to catch a fish. We got the pike tail piece going. It's pretty much perfect as well. That looks like pike skin, doesn't it? We really nailed that. And this is the MVP piece right here. Looking clean. Inside of the mouth, The clear coat bubbled out of the hole. That's okay by me, I don't care.
Honey, stop.
You like it? You like my bait? Okay, that little screw eye is going into the back of the little crankbait, and this wire is what's going to attach to the pike, and it's going to stick out of the mouth quite a ways before it attaches, probably about that far. So I sent a toothpick through a hole that I made. I just slid that tail in there and stuck a toothpick through it. Not my cleanest of work ever. One day! The toothpick's gonna bond nicely with the rest of the wood too when I put this super glue on like that. It'll seal, voila. That's a nice and secured, flappy, soft plastic doobie swim bait tail. Let's get the rest of this put together. It's time to check if it even does anything. Does it float? Well, I know it floats. I saw it do something for a second there. It does something. It does a lot of body roll and a little bit of swim. Well, actually quite a bit of swim if you get it down there. I'm kind of confident with that. It's just going to be flapping around. It looks like I caught a little pike, you know? I'm excited now. I don't need to do any adjustments. It's 5 o'clock. The day's almost over. This took so long. We're stuck in traffic. It's 5:15. Hopefully we just get there and catch a fish first cast. We gotta give the bait its best chance of catching a fish, so I'm just going to a pond, a Bjornson pond. Maybe it will be quick. I opted for the big spinner rod because I don't need to be reeling this thing fast. It's a big, crazy, goofy bait, but it works good. Oh! Get it. Fish on. Good fish. That's a good fish. I'm being real careful with it. These trebles aren't big and I have it by the belly. Got him. Woo! That's a good bass. It's official. I don't have a scale. That's always official. But that's probably close to 3. It's not small. Big bass, like pikes, trying to eat crankbaits. It's official. Be free. He's not going anywhere. Oh, there he goes. 5:41. We caught a fish right away. It happened. Thank you, Bjornson's Pond. Let's keep going. Make it happen again. That bass even looked at it for a long time. He was right under it, and then I moved it, and then he hit it. Get it. So he liked what he saw. He wanted to join in on the action. That's awesome. Hey. Whoop. That's a good one. Or is it? Can't tell exactly. Just excited I'm getting another one. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Wow. Maybe this is just the big bass lure. It's official again. Big bass. Like pike trying to eat a crankbait. They love it. Can't get enough. Be free. Oh, fish on. They're not hitting very hard. This is the smallest one yet. Absolute dink, but it's official. Pond dinks, like pike chasing crankbaits. We were bound to make that official. Be free. This has a way better action out in the wild with a lot of line out compared to the test tank. Way better. Fish on. Kind of dinky. Dinky enough to send a hook into my finger. Be free. So we're just piling up the bass with this bait. Bass are really dumb. They're just feeling that security of other fish choosing to bite the bait too. And it's like, oh, that one's doing it, so I should too. That's what's happening. Getting fired up, you know, and making dumb choices. Well, I spent the rest of that hot, soggy day on the riverbank. Cast after cast after cast. No fish felt compelled to join in on the action. It's official. River fish are a bit smarter than pond bass. And even though we went to the river, we still have the bait, don't worry. Did not snag it. The tail actually ripped off in my bag. I pulled it out of my tackle bag, and there was a crankbait that had its hook into the side of the bag and then also had the hook into this, and it ripped the tail off. Replaced it. Easy, quick replacement. I just drilled out the toothpick, put a new one in. We still have it. Look at this. Not even a single chip on any of those teeth. And they're all there. That rigid wire extending out from the mouth really worked. Super substantial, successful one day right there. That feels good. I'm in the middle of something right now. A big project. Well, it's not big. A complicated project. Therefore, I wanted to get a one day out. Like, I might get another one day out before I get to the big thing. Complicated thing. Hopefully I'm making sense. Thanks for watching. On to the next bait. I left my rotisserie on all night. On to the next bait.